I just started rocking it and it just broke.
One pull. Oh! Oh! What the Yeah, probably should have thought that through. Hey everybody, and welcome back. This is my 1985 Grumman-Olson Kubvan DL120, otherwise known as the prototype mail delivery truck. And because it's a prototype, there was only 500 ever built, and this being one of them. Now, because that was so long ago, there was only a couple hundred left in existence, and I'm lucky enough to have one of them. Number 418. Now, the great thing about this truck is it's all aluminum, and being in Ohio, it's in pretty good shape. Now, the problem is it hasn't seen the road in over 20 years because the engine is locked up. If you've ever seen under the hood of a Rabbit, this is going to look very, very familiar to you because it's just a basic 1.6 diesel out of a Rabbit. There's nothing different. Aside from the transmission, I believe this is a Mark II auto 3-speed trans that never came in the Mark I, but either way, the engine is the same. So it's a cast aluminum cylinder head, single overhead cam, belt driven with this big injection pump. I mean, diesels are very simple, especially these old models. So with that said, if we have power to the injection pump fuel cutoff solenoid, this thing will run if everything is in order enough to run, if that makes sense. So there's not a whole lot to work with here. Basically, if we can free it up, and I have a plan, we're just gonna pull the injectors out, squirt some juice down in there, let it sit and maybe rock it a little bit. Maybe we can break it loose. Again, I'm not sure where the issue actually is with this engine, but let's just get to it. I'm gonna bring you guys down here with me just so you can see how locked up this thing is. I have my favorite SAE equivalent of a metric wrench. Get that on the crank bolt. Here, you see that? And I'm just gonna, oh, it doesn't move at all. Maybe we can budge it backward a little bit. Oof, it actually moved a little bit. So, all right, let's get to work. Jeez. Now I'm gonna assume that based solely on the condition of all the metal under the hood of this van, that it was sitting in a really wet environment for, well, probably all of those 20 years that it sat. Of course, until I bought it. So what I'm saying is there might be a good chance that we can salvage this engine with some lube, and I'm not saying it's going to be great, but it might actually run. Even the throttle cable is locked up. It doesn't move at all. It's just always something with these old projects. All right, that can live over there. Cool. So believe it or not, these little keepers on the injector lines are really important because without them, these lines will all vibrate at a certain frequency. And when that happens, there's a possibility that they will crack. And I've actually seen these crack on cars and trucks like Rabbits and pickups that didn't have these keepers in place, and it just sprays fuel everywhere. So you have a crazy fuel leak, it ruins your injector hard lines, and it's just a bad day. So whatever you do, don't lose these. They're actually pretty important. I don't know what happened. I took the brackets off because it looked better, and next thing I know, my lines are cracked. How does that happen? I've been a mechanic for 40 years, and I've never seen any. All right, those are out of the way. Let's bump. Where'd my 17 go? Oh, you bat. Not to fear, I found it. Everything's okay, everything's cool. Everything's cool. You can see it on that. Oof. A little sticky. I've definitely seen worse, you know? Oh, that almost was worse. Now, what I'm kind of curious of is if there's actually diesel in these lines. I have my doubts, but... Oh, there is! There's fuel coming out of there. Look at that! No kidding. I feel like that's a good sign. So there is still fuel in the injection pump, which is pretty amazing. Wow, it doesn't take much to impress me, I guess. That's really cool though. Now the nice thing about diesel is it ages a little bit more gracefully than gasoline does. So these old parts do actually stand a chance. It's not like an old carburetor that's all gummed up and horrible from sitting for 1,000 years. This injection pump is, you know, I don't know, it's probably okay. Now, one thing you always want to bear in mind when working on a diesel fuel system is cleanliness, because, well, the dirtier your fuel is, the worser your injectors will end up being, and yeah, it's something like that. Oh my God! Oh, that is so tight. Oh, I don't like it. I don't like it. This is not a good sign. Ugh. Okay, well, I guess we'll see what that does. Oh shoot, okay, well that's one. I have never pulled the injectors out of a 1.6 before. I did these on my Mercedes 300D, which are very, very similar to these. I think it's the same style of injector, but I've never pulled them out of an aluminum head in a Volkswagen, so I'm not that surprised that those don't move. Anti-seize. Let's see what number 4 is looking like. Hi! Oh, something cracked. Yo! Wow! All of these old IDI engines have these crush, I guess it's like a crush washer kind of thing, but the injector seals into the cylinder head on this crush washer. And these have to, ooh, that's rusty. Oh, that looks bad. It doesn't even smell like diesel. Like, I'm not even sure what kind of fluid that is. It smells very strange. Oh yeah. So cylinders 1 and 4 should be at the same position in their stroke. Of course, while I'm waiting for my penetrating lube to do its thing on cylinder 2 and 3, I don't know where they are, but it looks like cylinders 1 and 4 are going to take a good amount of lubricant. Oh yeah, just fill it up. Hey! Yes! Yeah! Dirty old thing. Yes! I think I was losing too much torque in that extension. We got it now though. Right on. Okay, so that's about a full can of PB Blaster. I don't know if that's at all the right thing to use for this, but it just seems like it is. So, yeah. You guys keep an eye up here. Got you on a GoPro looking at the timing belt so you can see if it starts to move. I'm gonna take my trusty SAE 19mm wrench, if you know what I'm saying, shoot down there, start raking on that crank pulley, and with any luck, she'll start moving. Let's go. Also, get you an eyeful of this. Look at that. Convert a creeper. So cool. Love this thing. All right. 3/4. All right, a little bit, a little bit. Oh, God, Lord. Oh, ho, whoa, that moved a lot. Did you guys see that? Does it feel good? No. But it is moving. I think I have it broken free. It's not sunshine and rainbows, but it's moving. I have updates. I can't believe it, but it spins over pretty well. I mean, granted, there's no injectors in it to get a feel on the compression, but it's pretty smooth. It doesn't feel too notchy or anything. We might actually get somewhere with this. Okay, so I guess the next thing to do is maybe bump the starter and see if it rolls over on its own. And then I started looking around and I noticed these wires here, which, yikes. Then I realized that this wire here, you can trace it back to the starter solenoid. So somebody's already hot wired this to be able to bump the starter remotely, so that's not a great sign. Now this thing calls for a side terminal battery, which I don't have, so we're gonna bump it with that and these. So I don't know if it's gonna work, but we're gonna find out. Just give me a little something there. Am I gonna burn the place down? Nope. Whoa, something's working. Oh, the hazards. Now I think this is really the defining moment, because if it doesn't roll over with the starter, I mean, maybe this is just beckoning for an engine swap and this is a waste of time. I don't know. I'd like to get the original engine going though. So I think it's the red one. Fire in the hole! Oh, that didn't sound good at all. Wow. Well, it spins over, so that's something. Oh, good morning. Welcome back. It is 5:30 a.m. the next day. This completely came out of left field last night, but I was talking to my buddy Ricky, who I haven't seen for a little while, and he said, dude, I've got injectors and a timing belt. He's like, don't buy any of that stuff new. He's like, just come up here and get it. And that's awesome, because I haven't seen my buddy Ricky for a while, and I've been waiting for an excuse to make the trip up to his house, which is 2 hours away, and this is great. So I can't wait to see him, and I just think that if you ever have a chance to go see your friends, take it, because that's important. Anyways, what am I doing with this? The transmission on this engine is his. Well, I gave it to him, but I'm gonna deliver it to him as well. So I have to pull it off real quick before I leave. So let's get to it. So the transmission on this engine is actually out of my wrecked black BEW Jetta. And it was definitely tweaked somehow in the wreck. But it's no good, and he wanted it for parts. I forget what he wanted off of it, but I can't use it as a swap tranny or anything like that. So he is more than welcome to it. So I just have to pull it off this engine. There we are. Very good. Very good. Okay. Okay. Transmission free. Yes, I am going to put the transmission in the trunk of my car, because why not? Oh look, it's my favorite sweatshirt. Imagine that. Oh my God, that's heavy. That did not feel good on the old back. So I got him something else as well that needs to go. It's this ECU out of a common rail Jetta that I found in the junkyard. He has a common rail motor out of a forklift that he's gonna try and swap into a Mark II. but he doesn't have this, so Merry Christmas. Hell yeah. All right, let's go. I do want to comment on my attire because this is what I was wearing yesterday. And yeah, I don't take showers almost ever. So it's good for today too. Still clean, baby. I'll see you in Canton. What's up, baby? Oh, I have something for you. I have a couple things for you, actually. Yes.
Fancy stuff.
Oh, yeah. This is for your common rail. Probably don't want any of that, but that, I've been talking about that forever. So.
Thank you.
Ricky, tell us about your Mark II. What's going on with it?
So, now that I got a transmission from this feller, I got part of a transmission back there, and then deep down in here, I got the common rail.
Yeah.
So, looks like the main seal was leaking. And
Really?
Kind of have has like a sensor in it. That's where it reads from. So it's not gonna be cheap. So I gotta buy that, and then I gotta get a clutch, and that's not gonna be cheap. But once I have the $1,000 worth of seal and clutch, then I can finally marry them together and mount it in there.
Yeah.
So.
Sweet. So this had a 1.9 diesel out of a forklift?
Well, yeah.
Well, not originally,
Yeah,
of course.
1.6 and then up to a 1.9.
And that's now in the Cabrio. Yeah, so that's an ADG?
Yes. God, I forgot. Too many letters from school. But yeah, all we're waiting for now is I got one flange replaced for 100 millimeter. So those have the 90 millimeter. So I got one in. That was a and then I still gotta do the other side. I can put the axles in, make an exhaust, and then hook up fuel lines and bleed. Oh, I gotta time the pump.
Yeah.
So it's just on there.
Sweet.
But,
it looks good.
Yeah, it's something. Timing belt and
Yep. Belt and injectors.
injectors. That's right. These are right here.
I'm really wondering about that pump. I have no idea what it's gonna do, if anything.
Yep, here they are. Some of these are the ones from the ADGs, but they look, all the numbers on them are the same.
Yeah.
So I think they are the same injectors.
Yeah.
One of
You know,
them-
I wondered about that with even the Mercedes. They look the same. I didn't look at the numbers or anything, but
some of the other ones.
sweet. I rebuilt those injectors in that Mercedes eons ago. Oh, those look nice. Those are way too nice for me.
I need to get them. I've been wanting to bench test them, but I'm gonna.
Sweet. Yeah, what came out of that thing were junk. I don't want to do too much to it.
No.
And then people are like, oh, well, of course it ran. The thing probably doesn't have any compression.
Got a torque converter if you need it.
Jesus. I told Ricky that if the 1.6 runs, or even if it doesn't run, it's yours.
Fuck yeah, that's a dream. The only problem with that is now I'm wondering if I should put it in here.
Well, we'll see what it's like. It was stuck, so can't be that good.
No, no.
The mileage in the book was 40,000 miles. It got a new oil pump, rings, pistons, like, works. So I don't know what happened to it. And that's like, originally I thought that maybe the engine had like spun a bearing or something and that's why it was locked up, but apparently not. I just started rocking it and it just broke and I was like, uh-oh, there it is.
Hopefully that was a good break.
Yeah. Guys, Ricky is the man. So I got some fuel line in this box from him with a good timing belt, 8 good injectors, 4 glow plugs, injector seats. If it won't run with this stuff, it's just not gonna happen and we'll go ahead and pull it out and do the swap. But before we know that, I have some work to do, so I'm gonna do that real quick, and then we'll just see what happens. Here's what we got going on here. Oil jug is the new fuel cell. You've got a send to the pump and then a return from the pump. And I'm just gonna, fill her up a little bit. Got a little something going here. This is an absolute classic. Now the nice thing about using an oil quart for this is you've got a little sight glass here on the side, so you know exactly how much fuel you got left. Now, that's great. So my plan is to prime the system with this Mighty Vac, and with the fuel tank being higher than the pump, it should just, well, with any luck, it should just, oh boy. I don't know if this is actually working or not. Oh, it's pulling a vacuum. Oh, there it is. Hello. I did decide to not change the timing belt because it was just enough more work, and if this thing doesn't actually start, oh, whatever, So at this point, I've got the lines at each injector cracked open, so when if the pump starts moving fuel, we'll see it just running down the side of the injector instead of actually popping it and trying to fire the engine. But like I was saying, I think the biggest problem now is going to be the starter. I dealt with this before with that old Blue Rabbit that I had, and it just wouldn't start. It ended up being the starter was turning it over too slow. So I switched out the starter, fired right up. So I think we're gonna have the same problem here, especially with the battery being on the floor and the jumper cables and all that. But I am kind of curious, see if it'll crank at all. So here we go. That is not gonna start this thing. Hi, hello, welcome back. It is the next day. I finally changed my sweatshirt, but more importantly, I got a battery. The right battery, I think. I can't find too much information on which battery this thing takes. I know it's a side terminal, and this one's like 800 CCA, so that's good enough. Now, it doesn't have the go handle, which is definitely a bummer. But what's not a bummer is the price. 37 bucks from the local scrapyard. Now I just pulled it off the charger, so it should be nice and hot, and let's see what she does, huh? Okay. Get her swung in here. It's kind of an awkward fit down in this little corner, but the battery lugs on this Grumman are really stupid. Here goes nothing. I haven't actually tried this yet, so. Oh yeah, that's gonna start this thing. Good Lord. Okay, okie doke. Key on, move some fuel, and maybe we'll get these injectors bled. So I killed the battery trying to start this thing last night, and I hope that maybe I don't kill it again tonight, because this video is supposed to be uploaded tomorrow. So, yikes. I am out of time, so I really hope this thing starts. I feel like it needs the timing advanced to hair, and it would probably run. I don't know. All right, here we go again. Take two. Dang it. So here's the thing. These old 1.6 injection pumps have a cold start timing advance that might really help us out here. Of course, the cable is long broken, but I might be able to flip the lever up with a screwdriver if I can get some leverage on it. Oof, it does not feel good at all. There we go. There we go. Cold start timing advanced. Full advance. All right, let's go again. Oh, it is so close. I feel like it can't breathe. I feel like it cannot breathe. And that's really slowing us down here. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna cut the exhaust. I'm just gonna cut it right in half. I am so sick of f***ing with this 1.6. Oh. There we go. Hey-oh! All right, let's put her back down and see if she goes. If this doesn't work, I'm just gonna rip the 1.6 out of it, and who cares? Okay. Fire in a hole. It's already starting to crank slower. Son of a bitch. Look at the smoke in here. This is a disaster. I think it's completely loaded up at this point. The odds of it starting are not good at all. Not good at all. You know what? I'm sick. I'm sick of putting up with that 1.6. It's time to go with something that actually runs, makes real power, and is, I don't know, reliable. Thank you so much for watching. This video was anticlimactic at best. We got it unstuck. It doesn't run. Even with fresh injectors, I think the pump is screwed up. It's out of time. I don't feel like messing with it. It's a crappy motor anyway. And I just think there are better options, much like this. So with that said, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe for more to come, and we will see you in the next one. See you later. I'm back again. I think it was really loaded up before. So it's like 4 hours later. The battery's been on charge ever since. Let's give this one more shot. I think it'll run. So let's just do it again. Hit these glow plugs for the 40th time, and I don't know, probably won't start, so. All right, Tuscarora. Yes! Woo! Woo! Yeah! Yes! That's a win. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, leave them down below. Either way, it runs, that's amazing. It is still getting engine swapped, because the truth is, even if I drove it with this engine, my top speed's like 50 miles an hour, and that's with the engine in pristine condition, and this one obviously is not. But Thank you so much for watching. See you later.